We're going on a journey to find out what media literacy is all about and why it is so essential in order to live freely and participate fully in our society. Meet Jack. Like many other children growing up in Europe today, he is quite an expert at using modern technology. He feels quite at home on Facebook, Twitter and Skype and ends up helping everyone else in his family. Like navigating a boat across the ocean, he's mastered the technical skills and is able to adapt to this fast-changing environment. And across the ocean exists a beautiful island of possibility and freedom, where the inhabitants are happy and media-wise. But is Jack aware that in order to reach this island, he must have an understanding of the strong currents below the surface of the water, the powerful forces behind the media that he uses every day, information controlled by a few rich companies, subtle advertising, manipulation of images, false identities, and so on. Luckily, Lux, the EAVI avatar, is here to help Jack become more aware of these forces and also realize that he needs to develop the abilities to question how he uses media and technology. Competencies that will enable him to make choices, take informed decisions, and communicate with others. This is an adventure that will transform Jack and make him media-wise. The first step to reaching this magical land is to have strong technical skills. This is the boat that will carry him on his journey. And as we know, Jack is quite an expert in this field, and he quickly builds himself a boat. Lux shows him that there are children in other parts of the world that don't have access to computers or the internet. They simply don't have the opportunities to learn these basic technical skills. But boats are not made to stay on land, and Jack feels ready for the adventure. Off we go! Our EAVI hero asks Jack if he's ever wondered what lies beneath the surface of the water. Lux explains that although the majority of underwater creatures are harmless, there are some that we need to be careful about. For instance, when you search for something on the internet using Google, did you know that you also obtain results which are not related to your query? Why is that? And every day there are many items of news, but only very few are actually broadcast on TV. Which ones? Who chooses them? And why? It's difficult to understand how these currents are pushing our boat in all directions, and Jack is quite surprised to hear these things and realizes he needs to stay focused and keep sailing towards where he really wants to go. The sun is shining and the journey continues. Soon they meet another boat. The crew seem friendly and strangely they seem to know all about Jack. They try to convince him that he needs a new boat to reach the island and they offer to sell him a super speedy motorboat. Jack hesitates and turns to Lux for help. Do you think you really need a new boat, Jack? Jack knows that the boat he made is all he needs, and feeling sure of himself, he sails away. Other boats approach. This time they're clearly pirates, again trying to sell things he doesn't need. As Jack learns how to recognize them, he realizes they are everywhere. We're exposed to hundreds of adverts each day. But with increased confidence, he isn't going to let these tricksters fool him or get in his way. No way! He's smarter than them and has his weapons of determination and the capacity to question before deciding what is best for him. But there is more that Jack needs to learn on the path. Soon he sees in the distance what seems like someone asking for help. He moves closer, and just as he is about to hold out his hand to help, he realizes the danger. It's not who he thought it was. He knows to watch out for false identities, and it's difficult to know what is real and not real. But Jack is gaining faith in himself and trusting his own judgment. Lux smiles. Jack is picking up speed. Suddenly, the sky goes dark and a heavy thunderstorm begins. Jack realizes that during the journey there are elements over which he has no control, just like the weather. These external factors clearly influence the course of the journey. If media policies and educational systems are good, then the chances are the sailing will be smoother. As he struggles not to sink, navigating through the storm, he sees a small raft with a little girl on board. She's at the mercy of the waves. Jack must help her. So he manages to rescue her, and she gets on board. She explains that where she comes from it's impossible to see the island and that there's no wood to build boats. And what's more, pirates have complete control of the seas and big sharks infest the waters. She's amazed to see how fast they can navigate, how transparent the water is, and how clearly they can see the horizon. Jack is proud and pleased to be able to share with her all he has learnt so far on his journey. Now that they are together, cooperation and teamwork seem to make the journey effortless and attracts good things. Getting involved, being connected, and taking an active role in life makes these two kids feel fantastic and highly creative. Media offer these exceptional opportunities and make life easier and more enjoyable. They're now heading in the right direction, knowing there are many others just like them making this journey. Finally, they arrive. Jack's perspective has widened. He has become aware of the forces and elements around him. He's acquired skills and become media-wise. He has reached deep inside himself to find a self-confidence and a sense of curiosity that will always be his inner compass. Lux congratulates them both and gives them a badge as a souvenir of their adventure. He has one more question for Jack. What will he do when he goes home? Jack replies that he wants to tell all his friends and family about this adventure. He wants to share his experience with as many people as possible. And of course, he wants to plan his next adventure. On hearing these words, Lux smiles. Mission accomplished. He disappears.